Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to episode 21 of Bliss Tell I. Short-statured but long-winded. Here we go for another episode. Let's do it. I want to keep it short. It's not going to be easy because I have a lot of highlights. So let's begin. The first one is I finally finished The Road to You. The first draft, I finished it on Tuesday, which was my hard deadline, which could not be stretched anymore. So it's done, although I got a feeling that maybe my ending was not like delivering enough oomph. So I may have to rework it a little bit. I think I went over it a little bit too fast. Anyway, doesn't matter. Done now. I will resume this later. While I was finishing The Road to You, I was reading this book on writing, on creating a habit by Chris Fox. This guy who wrote this book in 21 days, who wrote and edited a book in 21 days. I read this guy's book because good marketing, Chris Fox. And while I was reading it, I realized that he was describing a routine I used to have. I used to get up, wake up, get out of bed, go straight to my writing desk and start writing and just get the words out of the way. And it made me realize that I had strayed very far from this routine because the internet is great, but it is such a distraction. So I have readopted a new morning routine of as soon as I get up, which is usually quite early, some 5:30, 6, straight to the office, start writing, no shower. I drink a little bit of water, obviously. Actually, I drink a lot of water. Because it used to be that, I got up, okay, drank water, made a coffee, took my coffee. No, first I took my shower, then I made my coffee, went into my office, started browsing the internet, checked my emails, all of that. Sometimes it would take up to an hour before I started writing. And I think what made the click in my head is that morning energy is so valuable, because your brain is never more rested than when you just wake up. And so I decided to make use of that again. So I hit some pretty good word counts for The Road to You. Actually finished it before 9 a.m. on Tuesday because I was going so fast. Maybe a little bit too fast though. So we always have to try and strike a balance. But this ties into what I want to do, because I've been talking about this a lot, right? I want to be able to write a first draft in 2 weeks. This is my ultimate goal, and in the long run, I want to learn dictation. But I don't know. I don't have the patience to learn it right now, so I'm gonna have to do it while typing, and. So next week I'm starting on a new first draft, right? Because the machine must keep on turning. So I'm starting on the first book in my new series, and I want to write it in 2 weeks. And I always say it when I start a novel, but I always give myself more time. And I know I have more time, but I really, really, really want to try. And the only way to do it is, 60,000 words divided by 2 weeks is 30,000 words a week. But I have learned, over the course of many weekends where I scheduled myself to work, that I don't enjoy working on the weekend. I mean, when I really have to, or or maybe record a Bliss and Tell, but that's not really work, right? This is for my own enjoyment that I do this. But I don't enjoy writing on the weekend because I need a break. I've been writing all week. On the weekend, I need a break. I need to recharge. And so I won't be writing, I won't be including weekends in this. So, I did some calculating, which I can do. And I need to write 6,000 words a day if I want to do this. And I can do 6,000 words a day, like a couple of days, but I'm gonna have to do it every day. So I hope my new morning routine will help me achieve this, because additionally, as if I'm not crazy enough, I want to get these 6,000 words done before lunchtime, because I can write in the afternoon, but it's always so much harder. I don't have the same freshness as I have in the morning. So this is my challenge for next week and the week after. I'll keep you posted. We'll see. I'm not going to say anything more. But yeah, so I also finished the edits, the final edits for Far From the World We Know. So this is now ready for proofreading. And then we'll soon go out to my launch team. There's a little bit of time, it's only going to come out on the 15th of April. So I definitely must thank my Texas connection again, Carrie. Thank you so much, because I'm a Belgian woman living in Hong Kong. I don't know anything about Texas, as I said to her in an email. So she helped me a lot with a lot of Texas things. So thank you so much for that. For helping me to make it more authentic. So that's done. So a lot of things got done this week. From top to bottom is with my launch team, is ready for release next week. Also, what I did this week, I set up a personal profile on Facebook for Harper Bliss. Someone convinced me to join this lesbian readers and writers group on Facebook, and I could only join with a personal profile. So yeah, I set that up, and I've spent so much time wasting on it. But joining that group, it was fun because they're all so nice and they stroke my ego. So if you want to be my friend on Facebook, just look for Harper Bliss. I still have the page, obviously, as well, but I also have a personal profile now. So that's that. And I was talking about the new book I'm gonna start next week, for which we have done a lot of plotting this week. I think it's going to be great fun, and I've come up with a title. Well, when I say come up, I have this file with, when I hear something snappy, or like a word, or a title, or like a sentence that I like, that sounds nice, I write it down. And I went through my file of things that I kept, and I said, oh, thank you for breaking my heart. That would be a good title for this book. So it's definitely the working title, and usually for when it's for a book, I usually keep the title. So Thank You for Breaking My Heart will be the first book in my new series set in Sydney. The series does not have a name yet. I've asked around, but I haven't found it. Anyway, there's time. Also, it's not the same as with French Kissing, because like French Kissing is like the most important thing to identify these books. It's like season 1, season 2. These books don't have a separate title. This is going to be different. So the main title is what's most important. It just needs something to tie them together. So it should be fun. I look forward to it. And there was one more thing that I wanted to say. What was it? Oh, that's my tummy growling. You didn't hear that. It's earlier. It's 8:40. So, oh yes, of course, my book bub went out during the night for me. So on the 17th, so yesterday in the US. So woke up to find French Kissing 1 on number 1 in lesbian romance in the US. The UK is a bit behind because they're not awake yet. Wake up, UK! So that's going well. I have to apologize to everyone who is not in the US and the UK, because it was my intention to make it 99 cents in all Amazon territories, but there has been a bit of not a mix-up, but I wanted to do a Kindle Countdown deal, and I discussed this with my distributor who takes care of all of that. And they said, yeah, sure, we'll do the Kindle Countdown deal for US, UK, but we can't, these are the only territories where we can do it. We'll do the other territories manually. I said, fine. But then they set it up, and then it turned out that when they set up the Kindle Countdown deal for US and UK, they couldn't change the price in the other territories. So Canada, Australia, I'm really sorry. At the moment, I cannot change the price for your territory. And next time I do this, I will, both me and the distributor, we have learned a lesson here. But I'm sorry, it's only 99 cents in the UK and in the US. So, but anyway, sorry, won't happen again. And so I'm very excited to see how high it's gonna go. If it's gonna go higher than At the Water's Edge, I don't know. It'll be a weekend of checking my Amazon rankings. Oh, I don't enjoy a weekend like that, because it's too stressful. I can't relax my brain. But and then there is one more highlight. Caroline and I have been invited to do a podcast, like not be a guest, but have our own podcast. So I was interviewed by Sheena from the Lesbian Talk Show last week. We had a long chat, and she must have liked what I had to say, because then the day after she said, "Oh, why don't you and Caroline host a podcast about running a successful Lesfic publishing business?" So I think we will probably record our first episode this afternoon. It's pretty exciting. We're still ironing out like a lot of technical things and all of that, but yeah, this will mainly be what's the word? I forgot the word. Geared towards. I wrote it down. Geared towards authors and I think like indie authors. So anyway, I'll keep you posted on that, but that's exciting. So it was a very good week. Lots of exciting stuff happening. Lots of things done that were dragging along. So I'm ready for next week. Next week, I'm going to write. I'm just going to write. Well, of course, I say I will only write in the morning. I mean, I do have other things to do in the afternoon. Like we have the launch of From Top to Bottom coming up, but I will focus most of my energy on writing next week, and then on marketing From Top to Bottom. So which has been a long time in the making. I think I put out the call for submissions in April last year. That's a year. That's a long time in indie publishing years. So I'll be happy to finally have that book out there. And there are some really good stories in there. So that's it for next week. I have to make a special mention. I'm talking too much again about myself. This is not about myself. Last night I started reading Padma Lakshmi's memoir, Love, Loss and What We Ate. And I was just like browsing, because I am reading a book at the moment, And so I was just browsing, and I said, I'll just have a look at the sample. And I started reading this sample. I was like, so juicy, because I read a few years back, I read Salman Rushdie's memoir, Joseph Anton, I think it was called. It was written in third person. What? His memoir, it's a bit strange. Anyway, but in that, it basically dismissed his marriage to Padma Lakshmi as like this silly mistake that he made, right? And he did not have a lot of good things to say about her. And then Padma Lakshmi's memoir starts with, the breakdown of her marriage with Salman Rushdie. Oh, it's so juicy. Stuff like that. That gets me excited. I could not stop reading it last night. I stayed up way too late. But anyway, woke up to find French Kissing 1 on number 1. So it's okay. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this book. So I have a question. I have 2 questions, but they are like a little bit related, so I'm going to try and answer them together. And so the questions are from Nikki and Carrie. Sorry, I have a little bit of an itch. Who are my 2 faithful questions askers. Thank you so much, Nikki and Carrie. You're awesome. And so Nikki's question is, your stories are FF, and so obviously with the POV being female, have you ever tried or considered writing from a male POV or doing stories that are not FF? And this ties in with Carrie's question, which is, being a lesbian yourself and writing lesfic, do you think you need to live the life to write about it? Because Carrie explained in her email, she said she's come across straight women writing lesfic and she wonders whether it would be easier to write about something you are living and experiencing, both physically and emotionally. She also says, I know all authors obviously have great imaginations to write the stories they do, but how do you write in-depth, and graphically love stories about something you aren't living? Okay, so also Carrie means no disrespect to any, all of that. We know this, Carrie. That's fine. So the short answer is, well, obviously I'm not going to keep it short, but the short answer is fiction is fiction, and I don't think you need to live anything to write about anything, because there are so many examples, like science fiction and all of that. It's all made up. But of course, when you write romance, it's much more emotional. But still, I in fact, I know someone who, I shouldn't say this. I must respect people's privacy more. My foot is asleep. Anyway, losing track. To answer Nikki's question a bit more, I tried writing straight romance. Well, I tried. This is how it happened. I'll tell you the story. So a couple of years back, I read Selena Kidd's famous super best-selling book, Babysitting the Baumgartners, which was, I read this and I was like, what? I said, I think I literally said to my wife, I think we were on holiday, I think we were in Vietnam, I said, what? We have to do this. This is where the money is. But of course, I'm a businesswoman. Because that book, it was so hot, and I'm a lesbian, I'm a gold star, but this book was just, it was very arousing, and it was very good, and it was just very appealing, and I said, oh, we need to do this, we need to, and this is why we set up A Hotter State. I thought we could, alongside running Ladylit, I thought, oh, we could run a little bit of a press focusing on more mainstream straight romance, and actually erotica mainly, but that did not work out. I wrote one straight story under my other pen name, Sadie Spiller, which I thought was going to be huge, but I wrote it, and I could write it. It wasn't that, even though I have never, I don't have much experience with men, I came out when I was 16 years old. I knew, and doesn't mean I couldn't write about it, but that's not the reason why I couldn't continue. It's just my heart was not in it. I just did not enjoy it in the same way as I enjoy writing lesbian romance, and I think if your heart's not in it, then what's the point, right? Writing is a creative thing, and you want to do it from your heart. Otherwise, people are gonna know, right? Readers are gonna notice it. Oh, something's not right. Or not. I don't know. I don't know if people would have actually noticed, but I noticed. So for me, I quickly didn't see any more point in pursuing that. Even though, I thought that's where the money was, but turns out that's not actually where the money is. The money is, I don't want to sound like, I think if you can do a business and be creative while following your heart, I do think, and this is gonna sound a bit woohoo, good things will happen, and good things have happened to me. I just stuck with what I did and what I enjoyed doing the most. So, what was my point again? Let me see. Yeah, I did have another point to make, because why would I, as a lesbian writer, or not even just a lesbian, why would I be adding more straight fiction to the world, right? There is already so much of that. So I thought, I want to represent. I think representing is important, like the more lesbian characters are out there in entertainment, and I know there's a big brouhaha in lesbian land about all the lesbian characters being killed off, but I haven't watched any of the shows recently where they have been killed off. But the the thing is, lesbians keep getting killed off. What does that say about the lesbians, right? They're just there for shock value and to as a plot device, No, that's another reason why I want to write lesbian fiction, because I want to represent. It's important, People need to read our stories as well, and the more there are, the better. The more accept the, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a simple generalization, but I do believe the more we are out there, the more easily we will be accepted by everyone, because there is still a lot of work to be done. Recently in Hong Kong, even probably shouldn't be getting into this, but yeah, we had some discrimination happen to us. So they never recognized. I mean, my wife and I, we are married. We are legally married in Belgium. They don't recognize our marriage in Hong Kong. So for the Hong Kong government, we are not married, and this is like pure discrimination. And someone took the immigration service to court, and it took a long time because they were supposed to rule last November. It took until last week for them to rule. They ruled against the person who brought the complaint, so same-sex marriage will still not be recognized. But the lawyers are saying that cases like this mostly when they go to appeal, that's when the big verdicts come in. So there might still be a chance, but not having our marriage recognized, it does have repercussions on our lives. I'm not going to go into all of that right now. Also, I seem to have gotten a little bit sidetracked. Let me see. Nikki also asked if I'll ever be writing from a male POV. No, I really, really don't think so. Because never say never, right? But I write about women, and maybe if I ever were to write from a male POV, I'd probably be a gay man's. Because 80% of my friends are gay men. They are just so entertaining. Oh my god. It's like watching a reality TV show all the time, but in real life. Anyway, Nikki and Carrie, I hope I have sort of answered your question. I'm at 22 minutes. Oh, my wife's not going to be pleased with that. So, Gert, I know you have loads of questions, but I don't have time to answer them this week. Okay, so that's it. Have a great weekend. Send me more questions, and peace out.